Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Coach Wayne Willette. I'm here today to talk about magnesium and also show you guys how to make your own magnesium bicarbonate. So I've been taking supplementing magnesium for a while now, and I can't tell you how much better I feel. And it wasn't until I did research that I realized that it's something that everybody is lacking, and it's not your fault. It's because of our environment, because of acid rain. The more that I've learned, the more that I realize that it's not our fault. We grew up in the time that we did and where we did, and so there's no way to get around it. It's too stressful and it's too difficult to try to get enough magnesium through just your diet alone. There's a lot of foods that are high in magnesium naturally, such as leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate, things of the like, but the point is it's too stressful to try to track that to get the amount that you need. And I'll give you myself as an example. I like to call myself a pretty healthy eater. I eat a lot of greens. I eat a lot of things that are high naturally in magnesium. But prior to supplementing, that was the only way that I was able to get my magnesium. And so I went and got my blood test done, and my magnesium is very low. It's on the lowest end of the range, where if it were any lower, even 1/10 of a milligram per deciliter, then I would be considered extremely low magnesium. And so basically the ideal milligram per deciliter is going to be at 6.5, and I was at 4.0. So I'm well below, almost 50% below, probably about 40% below the ideal magnesium levels. And if you don't know, magnesium is what basically regulates calcium. And in addition to that, we have over 900 enzymes in our body, and magnesium is responsible for activating about 43% of those enzymes. It's also the main mineral that gets burnt when we get stressed out. And so if you can imagine how it's not readily available like it used to be. We used to get it from our soil and mainly our water. But our water no longer really has magnesium in it. And it's because basically the farming industry, the acid rain, the fossil fuels, everything has basically depleted magnesium bicarbonate from our water. And so with us continuing to eat foods that are high in calcium, even foods that are fortified with calcium, and you can imagine how this regulation needs to happen, and with us having less magnesium available and so much extra calcium, that it can start calcifying our bodies. And without the ability to have magnesium to regulate that calcium, our body doesn't just naturally rid this calcium. It'll actually store it in the tissues, and that's what basically calcifies us from the inside out. So you can imagine people that have arthritis, other autoimmune diseases, it's from calcification. And so it's not as complex as people think. It's just very basic. This is magnesium. It's a mineral that used to be readily available to us, and it's not anymore. And so you have to supplement it. So even though it's relatively inexpensive compared to a normal price supplement, because it is just a mineral, it's very confusing because there's over 30 types of magnesium. There is about 30 types of magnesium, and not all of them work. And some of them serve a different purpose than others. Some of them are more bioavailable. So what I'm going to discuss is just the ones that I take, and also the most important one that everyone should be consuming, which is magnesium bicarbonate. That's what used to be found in our water, but is no longer in our water. So you want to make sure that, if you're not taking any magnesium right now, you're going to have to gradually work your way up. You don't want to just start taking tons of magnesium. I am currently at about 10 milligrams per pound of body weight, so I'm almost to about 2,000 milligrams. I recommend an initial goal to get to about 5 milligrams of magnesium per pound of body weight. That's a general goal for most people that are starting out. You don't want to just get there. For instance, the first week I'd probably go 1 milligram per pound of body weight. Maybe the second week go up to 2 milligrams, and so on until about 5 or 6 weeks. Then maybe you're at the full dosage of 5 milligrams per pound of body weight. Then you can kind of assess how you feel and start increasing it from there. And this is in totality, all the milligrams of different types that you're taking are going to equate to this amount. I try to get the majority from bicarbonate just because it is the most bioavailable, meaning your body is going to use and digest most of what you consume, versus if you have like a capsule. Let's say if you're taking 1 serving of this capsule is going to be about 500 milligrams, but that doesn't mean that my body's going to absorb all of that. So the pills and the capsules are just not as bioavailable, and especially the magnesium bicarbonate, that's going to be the most bioavailable. So when I started taking it, I started taking these trace mineral drops. You can find this on Amazon. It's just basically from concentrates, trace mineral drops, and this is a good way to basically start getting it into your system. But this is not magnesium bicarbonate. It's just the trace mineral drops. They're liquid you drop into your water. Then also there's a company called Jigsaw Health. I found them from Morley Robbins from the Root Cause Protocol. Basically there's 3 different types here. This one is a time released, but it's mainly magnesium malate, but they put in some folate and some B6 and some B12 to make it more of a time released. But this one is more for like energy. That's the one that I take in the morning and in the afternoon. This is pure malate, meaning the same stuff that's in here, it just doesn't have the time released ingredients. And then this one is glycinate. This is the one that I take before bed. It's a calming magnesium. Over here you have, once I got up to like 5 milligrams of per pound of body weight, I started ordering the Live Pristine. I ordered a couple of these liquid ones because these are diluted a bit, and then I also ordered the powder one. This is higher concentrated. So again, like I was saying, you want to work your way up. I got up to about 1,000 milligrams. Now I'm up to 2,000 milligrams, but now I'm taking magnesium bicarbonate, which I'm going to absorb more, and I'm taking it in a form that's a little more concentrated, so it's easier to get my dosage. I don't have to take so many pills. Now I'm relying on just adding it to my drinking water. This powder one is about, I have a discount code for 10% off. It's about $81, but it's 90 servings. So if let's just say you take 1 serving a day, which is 400 milligrams, it's about $1 a day, something like that, right? This one here, this only lasts if you're taking an ounce a day, which is about 350 milligrams. This will last you 16 days. And this is about the same thing. It's a little more expensive. This is like 90 cents a day, $1 a day. Then today, for the first time, actually, I'm gonna make magnesium bicarbonate myself. And I did the math based on everything that I purchased today, which, hold that thought. I purchased some 100% seltzer water. It's just basically carbonated water. And then 1 liter, so I bought 2 1-liter bottles. Then I also got this CVS milk of magnesia unflavored, which is basically magnesium hydroxide. But the process in which I'm going to show you, we actually take the milk of magnesia, which is the magnesium hydroxide, and we mix it with carbonated water, and it becomes magnesium bicarbonate. So this is by far the cheapest way to get magnesium bicarbonate. It's making it yourself, but it's also a process, and there's a couple pros and cons which I'll go over in a second. But I wanted to actually start by so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up slowly so I don't lose a lot of the carbonation. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a little bit out just to make some headroom. And I'm going to do that for both of these. Okay. And then I have this little measuring cup here. It says 45 milliliters per liter. So it doesn't have a line on here for 45. It has a line for 30, and then it has a line for 15. So I'm gonna have to do 2 just to make sure it's exact. And you wanna pour this in slowly. You can see how it's all cloudy. It's kind of bubbling up, reacting a little bit. Now I'm going to go to 15. And if you didn't know, this milk of magnesia is basically a laxative. So if you haven't taken this before, usually it's for somebody who's constipated. It'll make you go to the bathroom almost straight away. That's obviously not what we're going for here. Same thing, bubbling up. Now we need the 15. All right, what it says to do is just put the cap back on. And you want to shake it up. All right, and then put it back in the fridge. You can see it's still cloudy. Alright, and I'm going to leave that in there for 30 minutes and then I'm going to take it back out. But while that is chilling, I wanted to show you the math that I did. So as far as the magnesium bicarbonate goes, you have the powder and the liquid from Live Pristine, and then you have the DIY version. Now, this was $7, the magnesium hydroxide, which is milk of magnesia, and then the seltzer water was $1 each. There's 45 milliliters of milk of magnesia per liter. There's 355 milliliters total in here, which means we have about 8 liters of this magnesium bicarbonate that we can make, all right? And in each ounce, and there's 33.8 ounces in 1 liter, in each ounce of the water that we're making, there's about 45 milligrams of magnesium. So based on 8 liters and 33.8 ounces per liter, and 45 milligrams of magnesium per ounce after we make the solution, you're going to get about 12,000 milligrams of magnesium bicarbonate. And the total cost of that was $7 here and then $1 per liter. So we'll say $15. And I'm sure you can find it a little more cost effective, but just say $15 for 12,000 milligrams of magnesium bicarbonate. It comes out to about 800 milligrams of magnesium bicarbonate for $1, all right? And if you break it down to, let's say you're trying to get 800 milligrams of magnesium bicarbonate on a daily basis, it's about $1 a day. That's pretty cheap given how much benefit you're going to get from magnesium. Separately, on the liquid, the Electrolyte Balance from Live Pristine, you're going to get about 388 milligrams for every $1. So if you're trying to get 800 milligrams using this, it's going to be about $2 a day. So this is about $1 a day for 800 milligrams. It's about $2 a day for 800 milligrams. And then for the powder, it's a little more cost effective. You're going to get 444 milligrams of magnesium bicarbonate for every $1. So you're going to get about 900 milligrams for $2 worth. So this is definitely the cheapest. I would say the most cost effective. This is the second most, and then this is the third most. And I'm just talking in terms of magnesium bicarbonate. So that being said, the pros of going the route of milk and magnesia are definitely going to save some money. The cons of it are you're having to buy a lot of seltzer water, and in addition to that, I don't know the source of the water that the seltzer uses. I know it's not the same as my normal Live Pristine water revival system, my portable system. So that's a little concerning because I'm having to consume water that I don't know how good the water is. It also takes a lot of time, which right now I'm posting this video during lockdown of COVID-19. So basically I have time. I wanted to try it out. I wanted to do the math to leave it out there. I recommend all my clients take magnesium, and I also recommend that they get a blood test to see exactly how low they are. I'm pretty confident that 100% of us are low, unless you're already supplementing, and then it just depends on, you're probably not taking enough, and you're probably not taking the right kind either. So I'm just going to go out there and say that probably 100% of us are magnesium deficient, which means we're calcified, which means we're probably lacking energy, we're probably not sleeping good, some of us might have depression issues, could be arthritic, could have autoimmune disorders, or you could be expressing things differently with different symptoms, and some of those things might take longer to come out, but it's definitely something that all of us have to do. So yeah, that being said, I would say there's your pros and cons. I would say this is the option that I like to go because I get to add it to my water. I get to choose what water I'm mixing it with. It's just the powder form. So to me, I'd rather just spend an extra $1 a day or whatever it ends up being, like 80 cents a day, to know that I'm not having to drink that other kind of water. And also, normally when I'm busy and I'm coaching and I'm working with nutrition clients and I'm programming workouts and I'm doing my day-to-day stuff, I don't have a lot of extra time to make this stuff. So, I mean, it's out there. Right? Since I recommend everyone takes it, some people might not want to spend the extra money, or they might not be able to afford a lot of extra supplements. So this is a great way for people that are trying to save money. Aside from that, currently right now I'm taking about 1,000 milligrams of magnesium bicarbonate, and then the rest I'm getting from the pills. I stopped taking the mineral drops because it's not bicarbonate, so it's not as bioavailable here. And then I started taking these, but this is a great start because it's not as potent, and you can't just go from like one extreme to the other. You have to gradually work your way up. So this is a great start. Once you get through that, you can continue taking the pills like the malate in the morning and the afternoon, and the glycinate before bed, and then the bicarbonate you're sipping in your water all day long. So collectively you're getting to the numbers that we talked about per pound of body weight. And then another way, what's the largest organ on the outside of your body? That is your skin. And so getting magnesium transdermally is definitely one of the best ways to absorb it. They have magnesium sulfate, which you want to take in very small doses, and that would be through like an Epsom salt bath. But if you do that like 1 to 2 times a week, combined with all this other stuff, then you'll definitely feel the benefits of everything that we talked about. So I'm gonna check on this. Magnesium in a little bit, and I'll catch you guys shortly. All right, I took it out of the fridge. There was a white residue on the bottom. I shook it vigorously, and the sides of it kind of sucked in, as you can see. But basically, the water is now full and there is no residue at the bottom. So it's just basically clear water. Now this is ready to consume. You're going to want to take 1 ounce and add it to a glass of water, or you can add a 1/4 of a cup to a gallon of water. And if you add if you do the math, I think let's see, six teaspoons is in an ounce. So if you do I don't know how many ounces are in a 1/4 cup. I have to figure that out. So I have a 1/4 cup. Oh, and by the way, the water's not carbonated anymore. It's weird how it gets activated like that. So a 1/4 cup is 1/4 cup is 60 milliliters. So you'll have to do the conversion there. I believe that's about 2 ounces. So probably about 30 milliliters is an ounce. So if you add 2 ounces, you're only going to get a 1/4 cup. That would be good for probably 1 liter, which is, if you're adding a 1/4 cup to a 1 liter bottle. So if you drink one of those big 33.8 ounces of water, you would add a 1/4 cup of this, which is about 2 ounces. So if you're drinking a gallon, you're going to want to do about 1 cup of this, which is going to be about 8 ounces total out of a gallon. So it'd be like 120 gallons of your water and then 8 ounces of this to make 128 ounces total. All right, there you go. Magnesium bicarbonate.